Put a finger down if you love salty and sweet things together. Put a finger down if you've ever had to cook dinner in your underwear because it was too goddamn hot in your apartment. Put a finger down if you never had air conditioning and lived in the same place for 20 years and every summer was like that. Put a finger down if you like grilling smoky meats and need something refreshing to go with it. Put a finger down if you love summer. If any of your fingers are down, you need the salad that I am going to make today. It is spicy watermelon and cucumber with pan-fried peanuts, and it is, in a word, quenching.
Oh, hey, I didn't notice you there. I was just getting quenched in the sun with my salad. If you want to get quenched, smash that like and subscribe. Only takes a second.
This salad is amazing for hot, hot days, and it is important for some of the ingredients to be cold, cold, cold. That is part of the refreshingness of it. I'm gonna take a few cucumbers, and in order to get them chilled down really fast, I'm just gonna put them in a little baby bucket of ice water. I did not by any means come up with the idea of a smashed cucumber salad. The technique is really integral to the Sichuan version of the dish, but it's also prevalent throughout Southeast Asia, Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, even Korea. Don't hold it like this for more than an hour or they'll start to get waterlogged. And this is a trick I learned from my friend Emil, a great party trick. Next up, watermelon. Watermelons and cucumbers go together for so many reasons. First of all, they're both gourds and they're in season at the same time, and they're also filled with water. So both of these vegetables, in addition to being cooling, are incredibly hydrating. This is a little seedless red watermelon. They're easier to take apart and cut up than big giant guys. Maybe you would start with a quarter of one of those, but if you get your hands on a little one, the way that I like to cut them into cubes is I just take off both ends of the equator, I guess, the poles, and then I can stand it up and it's sturdy. I'm probably not gonna need the whole thing, so I'll just work with one. Also, is it good that we have all this seedless fruit? I feel like we need the seeds. Like the seeds are for a reason. My children don't even know what it is to like spit out a watermelon seed, and I think that's kind of sad. Then just working around it, kind of like I'm segmenting a piece of citrus. I'll just take off the rind. Pickled watermelon rind is a great thing, so if you're into that, save your rinds. But when I was pregnant with my child, Cosmo, I ate so much watermelon. Oh my God, that kid was born in September, and pregnant ladies are hot and they're thirsty. So I ate like cups and cups and cups of watermelon. So now I have like a turtle hump. It doesn't really matter if you get perfect squares or not, but I'm just gonna go across into planks because I want like kind of 1-inch chunky pieces, and then just turn it and make planks. Not that many ingredients have the kind of wet, crunchy that watermelons and cucumbers have. They're also just completely waterlogged, but not soggy. All right, so I'm gonna chill all of this down. 2 cups of it is gonna go into the salad. And then whatever you have left, you know, cube it all up, and then it's just super easy snacking. Or make watermelonade. I have a recipe for watermelonade also on the table chapter of That Sounds So Good. And you can spike it if you want to, or you can just have it be a refresca. So I'm gonna chill my cukes, I'm gonna chill my watermelon, make those super cold, then we get to quench. So this is where the spiciness is going to come in. I've got Thai chilies and onion, and this is the base of the dressing, but it will also be, you know, some of the texture in the finished salad itself. If you didn't find red onion, but there were sweet onions, that would also be a good substitution. If you have a mandolin, you could use a mandolin for this, but it's such a small amount that cutting it by hand, so that could take long. Okay, so I'm gonna add both of these limes. You wanna do this step a little bit early on to give the onions a chance to marinate, and then the onion juices are gonna mingle with the lime juices, and it's going to soften the onions a bit and just make everything more flavorful. Okay, so I've got a couple Thai chilies here. They're very hot, which is great. It's only one for a big salad. If you don't like spice at all, just feel free to leave it out. You could also use something like a serrano or a jalapeno that has a little less kick, or just use a tiny amount, or use the pepper but get rid of the seeds. And adding a little salt. The salt also is gonna help draw all the liquid out of the onion. And then it'll be part of the salting of the salad. Okay, so, ooh, tastes like what you think it's gonna taste like. The spice from the chili is already permeating into the lime juice. So this is just gonna get better as it sits. All right, so that's the foundation of my dressing. And now I've got some more crunch to crunch up. I am going to roast and salt and sugar and lime zest my peanuts. So I'm adding a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. Peanut oil is great, a neutral oil, and some raw skinned peanuts, and I'm gonna toast them up. By surrounding the peanuts in oil, they're surrounded by this flavorful cooking medium as opposed to just being dry roasted in a toaster oven. And this way also the seasoning that I put on afterwards is gonna stick to them better. This process will take about 3 minutes over medium heat. Keep an eye on them, stir from time to time as they take on color, because it can go from light brown to burned in an instant. Oh my God, they smell delicious. The reason that I did not drain these on paper towel is because I want to season them and I want that seasoning to stick. So I've got a little bit of sugar. The balance of sugar and salt and sour and bitter and umami is really important in the dressing, but it's not important like hard to achieve. It's just gonna be coming in lots of layers. So having the oil on the peanuts gave them this really nice fried texture, and they're delicious and fatty, and now the seasonings are sticking to them. While the peanuts are still warm, I want to grate lime zest over as well. The aromas are gonna get released by the warm nuts. I mean, it is what it is. So the zest in the peanuts is gonna be kind of amplified by the lime juice in the dressing. The sourness of this and the aromatic flavors of the lime is going to be that really nice counterpoint to the sweetness of the juicy watermelon, and lime and cucumber is delicious together. So these are going to be a very delicious, sweet and salty, limey treat to find in your salad, and they're going to crisp up even more as they cool. You guys know that band Smashing Cucumbers? It's funny though, because pumpkins are also gourds, so maybe it's not so far off, you know? Smashing Cucumbers.
Chili Corrigan.
Chili Corrigan. So I'm just trimming each end because we don't really want to bite into that. There are so many beautiful cucumbers that come into season in the summer. There's curly cucumbers, lemon cucumbers, speckled cucumbers. There's a lot of amazing cucumbers out there, guys. Get to know them. So the smashing and the bashing is really fun. Children can do this. And I'm using a rolling pin. You could use a meat mallet. You could use your fist. You could use the bottom of a skillet. But you really want to use this to fully smash. And why smashing instead of just slicing into pieces is because of this texture. It's not any harder. This is like no cook, no knife, but you get these craggy, jaggedy pieces, and it's just more surface area. It'll catch the dressing in different ways. These craggy edges will play nicely against the sharp edges that we put on the watermelon, and it's just like a nice natural individual shape. We don't have to be so regular. The thing is like cool as a cucumber, they don't come off the vine cool. The cooling property of a cucumber might not necessarily be about the temperature of the cucumber at all. It could be about the flavor of the cucumber, which is like bright and grassy and green and mild, but also like vegetal that cools you down. It's who they are as cucumbers. They're cool. 3 bowls, 2 gourds, and 10 minutes later, it is time to assemble. Into the bowl with my chilly little cukes. I'm eyeballing, what is 2 cups anyway, you know? This is our onion, chili, lime juice. I don't know about you guys, but I crave spicy food when it's hot out. So if I could have cold and quenching and also hot and spicy. Okay, this is kind of the fun part because every watermelon is different. Every cucumber is different. You might have a watermelon that's like a little bit more vegetal. You might have one that's like insanely sweet. Balancing the flavors is something that you're gonna do to taste. My yummy peanuts. I'm gonna put some of them in now so they get coated and they're part of the party and they give up some of their lime zest. I'm adding a little bit of fat. Fat helps carry flavor, and some of the flavors in this dish, especially the lime zest and the chili actually, are gonna permeate in oil. This is MSG. I am all about it. I think with melon and cucumber, especially, MSG makes everything taste better, more savory, deeper, richer, fuller, just like better. Flaky salt, and I'm not gonna put as much salt as I might want to because I'm gonna add a few dashes of fish sauce here too. So this is salty, but it's also funky, really typical, again, in those Vietnamese flavors. I think the key to the savoriness of this dish really comes from the sourness. And sometimes you need a little bit of sweet to taste the sour. Oh my God. It has sweet, salt, sour, bitter, umami, wet crunch, dry crunch, hard crunch, fatty crunch, silky tendril from the onion, many layers of flavor and layers of temperature. This is delicious on its own if you just need the idea of every single element of a meal being represented in one dish and you're just too hot, but it is also amazing alongside fatty meats, grilled meats, pork chops, yummy steak, even with fish. It's just kind of got it all. And then just for the topper whopper, if you're allergic to nuts and you can't have the peanuts, you could use store-bought fried shallot or red onion, and you could actually add those in addition if you wanted to. I think it would be delicious. You know, visualize this or don't, it's cool, but just imagine that I'm in a wet bathing suit right now, standing out on the deck that I don't have by the pool that I don't have. That's where my head's at. Lime juice, I love you. So what just happened was I tasted some guys individual. Then I got like a spicy layer. It must have been like a little chili wash. So I'm getting my cold, crunchy sensations. I'm getting hot, tingly from the chili itself. I'm getting pungency from the onion and pungency also from, the fish sauce, plus the crunch. This is a good bite. Guys, too hot, cool off. Oh my God, so quenched right now. Couldn't be more quenched. Quenched and crunched.